Alright guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. In today's video, it's something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you how to restore your headlights if they're faded, oxidized, like as you can see in these pictures. We're going to be restoring them to a nice, crisp, clean, clear lens that you can see your headlights very well through. It's a pretty simple process. Very easy to do, so stay tuned. I'll show you the whole process, what materials I used, and so on. So let's get right down to it. First of all, I'll show you what the headlights looked like before this whole restoration process. And as you can see, it's very, very faded. Doesn't look very well. It's hard to see through, and you can just see the oxidation in the plastic in the headlight lens. So one of the items that you need to do this restoration process is auto grade sandpaper. For this particular project, I used 3M auto sandpaper. It consists of a variety pack, and for this project you need a very, very fine sandpaper. You don't want to take a lot of material off. You're just brushing off, I should say sanding off the top oxidized layer of the headlight. So the first process you're going to want to do in this project is to tape around the headlight using blue painter's tape, frog tape, just a very not so tacky tape that won't really stick to the paint, ruin your paint on your vehicle. And just tape around the headlight, because we are going to be sanding the headlight. You don't want to accidentally miss or slip or anything and scratch the paint on your vehicle with the sandpaper. For the next part of this process, we're going to sand the headlight. We're going to wet sand it. So what you're going to want to do is get a spray bottle with just some plain Jane tap water in it. Spray the headlight down, give it a nice even coating, spray 1 or 2 sprays on the sandpaper, and then start sanding the headlight in either up and down or left and right motions. You don't want to do circular sandpaper motions, just like I said, up and down, left or right, and not a lot of pressure, just until it feels smooth. And we're just going to keep sanding until the top layer is removed. And like I said, you'll get a feel for it when it starts feeling smooth. There's no set time or anything. It's just all by feel. But around between like 2 and 5 minutes of sanding, I would say. So once you get finished sanding with the 2000 grit, and it feels nice and smooth, just give it a nice wipe down with a microfiber cloth, and this will really clean it up, and you'll get to see how well the 2000 grit already started to clear up the headlight. You can see here there's some clarity back already, and that's only the first step in the process, so it's only going to get better from here. Once it's all cleaned up and you can start seeing the difference with the 2000 grit, now we're going to move on to the 2500 grit sandpaper. And the same process, we're going to spray down the headlight down with some water, spray 1 or 2 sprays of water onto the sandpaper, and then we're just going to sand the headlight down until it feels smooth. Like I said, there's no exact science to this. It's just all by feel. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you go left and right, up and down, and you shouldn't have any problem with sanding the headlight. And what this is going to do is this is going to increase the clarity even more than the 2000 grit, and it's going to set us up to get ready to polish the headlight now once we finish with this step. Once again, like how we did in the last previous step, is once we get finished sanding, we're going to give it a nice wipe down with a microfiber cloth. This will clean it up, get rid of all that excess plastic that we just took off in the water, and you can start seeing the clarity come through, and that will help us with polishing. And because you want to have a nice clean headlight when you're polishing, you don't want any other contaminants getting in the way, so just make sure it's nice and clean with a microfiber cloth, and we'll move on to the next step from there. Now in this step is what we're going to do is we're going to start polishing the headlights, and we're going to start with this polishing compound is called V34, and it's a polishing compound made by Chemical Guys. They're a really good detailing car detailing distributor. They make a lot of great products, and what we're going to do is using a Torque 10FX dual action polisher. You can get this on Chemical Guy's website. It's a little pricey. It's around $200, but it works extremely well. A whole bunch of different settings. Very durable. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put that on a orange polishing pad and put 2 or 3 dime-sized globs of that V34 polishing compound. Like I said, Chemical Guy sells this. This is what I know, what I'm used to, and it works really well. So I'm using this in this video, and we're going to put that on the orange polishing pad. And the colors of the polishing pad mean different things. Some are harder or softer depending on what you're doing. So for this particular instance, I'm going to be using the orange one to start off with. Like I said, 2 or 3 dime-sized globs of that polishing compound, and then push it onto the headlight in different areas. And what this is going to do is this is going to help spread it around, just get that polishing compound all over the headlight. And then once I push it on, I'm going to turn the polisher on to the first setting and just really spread around the polish until there's a nice even coat. And then I'm going to speed up the polisher to its highest setting and really work the polish into the headlight, just like I said, left and right, up and down. This is dual action polisher, so you don't really have to worry about burning the headlight or staying on one spot for too long, because it is orbiting in different directions, and it's not just spinning in one constant spot and making the plastic overheat. So that's one advantage of using the dual action. And like I said, just really work that polish in until it's clear, until you can't see the polish anymore. And once you're happy with that, we'll move on to the next step, which is wiping off the headlight. And with wiping off the headlight, you can see a much bigger difference in clarity compared to when we first began. Once you start polishing the headlight, that's when you really start seeing the changes. So just give it a good wipe down, and we'll get ready for the next step, which is another polish. So like I said, the next step is another polish. This is now V36, which is the next step up in the polishing, like the scale of coarse to fine polish. And we're going to put this on a white polishing pad this time instead of the orange. Like I said, there's different hardnesses, whether it's soft or hard. And once we put the 2 dime-sized dollops of the polish on, we're going to spray the polishing pad with just 1 or 2 sprays with water just to moisturize it a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing, put the polishing pad on the polisher, and then just push it onto the headlight, spread that polish out, and then turn it onto the first setting, spread it out some more until it gets a nice even coat, and then turn it up to the highest setting on the polisher. And we're just going to really work that polish into the headlight and buff out all those very, very fine scratches that we created with the sandpaper, and remove even some more material from the top layer of that headlight to get that clarity back that the vehicle headlight originally had. Now moving on to the last step, we're going to use another finer polish. This is V38. This is considered the most fine or like a jeweler's polish. So same thing, we're going to put it on the polishing pad. This time we're using a black polishing pad, which is softer. And we're going to put that on 2 dime-sized globs of that, spray with 1 or 2 sprays of water. And right here I'm showing the difference between the untouched headlight and the headlight that we've been working on. So we're going to put that polishing pad on and really get to work. This is the final polish, so since we just finished polishing, and wipe it down with a clean microfiber. Like I said, just you don't want any other contaminants scratching up the headlight or anything. So just give it a good wipe down, and then we're going to start really polishing the headlight with that fine jeweler's polish to get the absolute most clarity out of the headlight. Now, as you can see in these pictures, this is the final product. You can see how clear that headlight is compared to when we began, and it's just a dramatic difference. It's going to help you see better, maybe help you pass inspection, whatever. It's just a simple fix that's very easy to do, and I hope you learned something. And please consider comment, liking, and subscribing. Like I said, I did this for you guys. It's just something so simple that can save you a lot of money. Rather than buying new headlights or trying all the different products that they sell in Walmart or whatever that say they can restore headlights. This is the true cheapest way that I know of that produces results as good as these. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I'm going to have a lot more projects like this, or if you're into guns, knives, flashlights, gear, all kinds of that stuff, subscribe. I'll have tons of other content coming out dealing with that kind of stuff. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and enjoy.